Wow, I picked a lot of celebrities to go through. This video is going to be 4 hours long. Hello users of the internet and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're one of my current 890 subscribers, then welcome back. And if you're not but are a massive fan of some of the celebrities that I've dissed in this video, then I don't think you're gonna want to become one. I guess today I woke up and decided that I was just in the mood for chaos. And by chaos, I mean business as usual, except I'm just going to talk about some random celebrity encounters that I've had in the past. I saw a video with YouTuber Chris Clemens where he went through and ranked some of his encounters with celebrities, and I thought that that would be a fun little idea for me. Am I remotely famous or in the public sphere? Literally not at all. But for some reason, I have seen a disproportionately large amount of celebrities just living their lives on the street. I don't know, when I was living in New York in 2019, I would just see a Real Housewife at my local CVS, a Broadway star at my Trader Joe's, James Franco walking past my dorm room. That last one actually happened. I don't know why. I don't have an explanation for it. As someone very much immersed in celebrity popular culture, I definitely welcome this gift and am going to explore it today. I actually ended up exploring said gift so much that I literally talked about my encounters with 22 celebrities, thinking that it would be a normal amount of time for a video, but it ended up being 40 minutes of footage, so I've decided to cut this video into two, and you are about to see part one, so I don't know, stay tuned for next time or don't. Thank you, now we're gonna get into it. So I wanted to combine the idea of ranking my celebrity encounters and also the new craze of putting everything into a tier list and make a tier list of my celebrity encounters. It's really not that crazy a concept, but it's what I'm doing today. And I also just want to stress how loosely I am using the term encounter. Did I necessarily meet these people? No. But I may have walked past them on the street or seen them from afar, and I'm still gonna count that. I'm gonna take what I can get. Enough preamble, let's get into it. Okay, we're here. I finally worked out how to use this app and I've created some tiers. So the top tier, the absolute best that a celebrity encounter could possibly be, is God amongst peasants. Clearly, they are of another world. They are of a class above human, in that they were super nice. In fact, too nice. I would say you have no right to be that personable to a random stranger that you've just met. I do not deserve your love and respect, but yet you've given it to me. The next round down is, did we just become best friends? Yes, I am quoting the movie Step Brothers, a movie that I hate.
Did we just become best friends? Yup!
But that contradiction aside, this is more for the celebrity encounters where we click immediately. I still see them as human. They have flaws just like us, but we're vibing. We're getting along. I will be personally offended next time they throw a dinner party and I'm not given an invite. Next round down, short and sweet. Name pretty much says it all. I met them, they were nice, it was brief, it was everything it needed to be, and then it ended. No one embarrassed themselves, and by no one I mean me. Now we're into kind of a murky category below that, which is literally you tell me. It's for those encounters where I don't really know what that was. And if someone were to ask me, I'd say literally you tell me because your guess is as good as mine. And then below that, we've got celebrities. They're nothing like us. Yes, we're tricked into thinking that celebrities are down to earth. They're just normal people living the day-to-day. But then you see them out and about buying million-dollar clothes and getting cryogenic facials, and you remember they're actually nothing like us because they're rich and can do whatever they want. No shade. But I just can't live my life like that. And below that, we've got, oh, that aged poorly. This applies to any celebrity encounter where it may have seemed fine or alright or even good at the time. But since then, a scandal has come out and they've been cancelled, and that interaction looking back probably wasn't the best. And now the second lowest category is To All the Celebrities I've Wronged Before. This is a play on the title of the Netflix original movie To All the Boys I've Loved Before, in which the main character writes a letter to every boy she's ever loved. This is the equivalent of me writing a letter to every celebrity I've ever embarrassed myself in front of. I am so sorry that you had to bear witness to that. There are a few. I have many regrets. I don't sleep well at night. And now the absolute worst category, never meet your heroes. It's a saying flung about quite frequently, and for very few celebrities that I've met, it is indeed applicable. Let's get into this. Okay, first up, I'm going to pick Ben Platt. You may know Ben Platt from starring in 2 of the 3 Pitch Perfects, for winning a Tony for originating the role of Evan Hansen in Dear Evan Hansen on Broadway, for starring in the Netflix original series The Politician. Need I go on? Ben Platt is an icon, a legend, a star, an amazing talent, and I had the privilege of seeing him perform as Evan Hansen in 2017 on Broadway, and I think that was one of the single greatest nights of my life. However, that is not when I met him. I actually met him 2 years later when I was at a musical theater bar called Marie's Crisis Cafe in New York with my mom, and lo and behold, Ben Platt was just in the corner singing with his friends. I was having a mental breakdown. And then finally my mom was like, look, just go up to him. You're gonna regret not saying something. So I went up to him. I basically just cried at his face. I was like, hi, I'm so sorry. I think I'm just really gonna regret if I don't say something, but I think you're so talented. I love you. And then I think I genuinely blacked out because I can't remember another word I said, but he took it really well. He was like, thank you so much for coming up to me. Do you have an accent? Where are you from? I said I was from Australia. I complimented him. He said thank you. He asked me a question. I responded. It was a lovely encounter. It could have gone horribly, horribly wrong because it began with me crying, but it didn't, and he took it well, and he didn't hate me for disturbing his night out. So I'm gonna put that in short and sweet. Lovely encounter, everything I wanted it to be. First cab off the rank. Woo. Next up, I'm gonna pick Trisha Paytas. With Trisha Paytas, my mum got me tickets to her concert, and I actually got to meet her afterwards at a meet and greet. I know that she can be quite the controversial figure online, but she was so nice, like overly nice, like out of her way nice. Her mum came up to me, said, can I hold your bag? Trisha Paytas was like, come on down. Again, she spotted that I had an accent, asked where I was from, told her I was Australian. She was like, oh my god, one of my backup dancers is from Australia. Gave me a little anecdote about her life. I didn't ask for that, I didn't need that. She generously gave that to me. She was also like, you're super pretty, and I was like, Trisha, stop. Oh my god. Really just inflates an ego when you need it. I left feeling like we were best friends, but also she went out of her way. She went above and beyond. So I'm not going to just put her into the did we just become best friends category. I'm perhaps controversially gonna put her in the God Among Peasants category because I don't think you can get anything more from a celebrity encounter. She was an icon. She was so nice. And I left feeling amazing about myself. So Trisha, Queen of Queens, God Among Peasants. And I stand by that. Next up, let's go Jeremy Jordan. You may know Jeremy Jordan from starring in, I think, Supergirl. I don't know. I don't really watch anything by DC. But I know him from his many Broadway credits and also from starring in season 2 of Smash. He's phenomenal. He's amazing. In 2018, I was lucky enough to go and see him perform a concert with his wife.
Oh my god, Jeremy! I haven't seen you for at least the last 5 years!
And then I got to meet him afterwards. I was actually the first person to meet him, and I don't think he was fully expecting the energy I was coming in with because it was 100% full on right out the gate. He may not have been expecting it, but he definitely worked with it. Like any good actor, he said yes and to my offer. He met me where I was, we were having some great banter. It was like we were friends for years. And I actually can't remember anything either of us said to one another. It went by in a blur, but it was a very positive experience. However, recently, I looked at the selfie that we took together and worked out that it was a live photo, held it down, and worked out that in it he says, disgusting.
Disgusting.
I don't know what that means, but both his wife and I continue to smile. So clearly it's an inside joke that the three of us struck up that unfortunately I don't remember. So for that reason, I think Did We Just Become Best Friends is the best category for us. Either that or he completely insulted me, which I would take. Jeremy Jordan punched me in the face. Okay, next up we're gonna go an embarrassing one. It's James Mackay. If you don't know who James Mackay is, we really were in the same boat. Again, I was at this musical theater bar called Marie's Crisis Cafe with some friends, and then I saw him walk by me, and I said to myself, I know that guy. How do I know him? No idea. But I've seen him before, and I know that he's Australian. I don't know how or why, but for some reason my brain just sees actors and knows when they are and when they are not Australian. Call it patriotism, and the friends I was with were like, Annabelle, you're insane. We've never seen that guy before. You don't even know what he's from. And I said, I'm gonna prove it to you. So I walked straight up to him and said, hey, are you famous? And he was like, oh, well, I mean, I don't know if I would say I'm famous. And I was like, no, you're definitely a celebrity. You're an Australian celebrity. Oh, what are you in? At this point, I should have just, actually, at this point, I shouldn't have been in the bar. I was like, oh, no, are you in Offspring? No, are you in Underbelly? So then I just start listing every show I've ever seen advertised on Australian television until finally he put me out of my misery and said, have you ever seen Dynasty? And I was like, I've seen 4 episodes of it. You're the brother from Dynasty. And he was like, yeah, hi, I'm James. Had to introduce himself to me. It's a horrendous experience. He was amazing. He took it like a champ. What the hell was I doing? Who goes up to someone, says, I know you're famous, but what are you from? And then he ended it with, hey, would you like a photo? And I said, yeah, thank you. So ended up getting a photo with him despite the fact he literally had to spell out to me what he was in. But he's amazing. I love James Mackay now. His name is memorized. I know exactly what he's in. So for that, I'm putting him into all the celebrities I've wronged before because James Mackay, I am so sorry. Now we're gonna move along to Tony Award winner Annaleigh Ashford. You may know her from starring on Broadway in Kinky Boots or Legally Blonde or being a part of honestly almost every TV show ever. I feel like whenever I turn my TV on, she's there. And I was lucky enough to meet her at the 2015 Broadway flea market. And honestly, she was lovely. She knew immediately where I was from. She was like, you're Australian, aren't you? And I was like, Annaleigh, yes, stop it. And she was like, have you got cupcakes on your dress? And I said, you bet I do, Annaleigh. We just kind of hit it off right away. We were talking for like 5, dare I say 10 minutes. And also just kind of felt like I was talking to a friend. So for that reason, again, Annaleigh Ashford, did we just become best friends? Okay, next up, we're going to move on to the first kind of negative experience I've had, and we're going to go to when I met Rose Byrne and Bobby Cannavalle. But for the sake of the negative comment, Bobby Cannavalle. I went to see them early 2020. Oh my god, remember when theatre existed in 2020? What? In an off-Broadway production of Medea, and waited outside the stage door, and Bobby Cannavalle came out and honestly just kind of breezed past me. He started talking to my friend Ben and I, and then mid-conversation, I don't know, saw his friend and just kind of left. So then Rose Byrne was left alone with us and then awkwardly was like, I'll take a photo with you, and took one for the team. Okay, look, to be completely honest, this experience wasn't really that negative. It was just a bit random that he then immediately saw his friend and left, and then I felt bad for Rose for having to talk to us for longer than she was going to try and make us feel better about the fact that her husband ditched us. But saying that, does this mean he's a bad person? No. I actually listened to a podcast with Melissa McCarthy where she sang his praises for like an hour, but nevertheless, I have kind of lucked out with my celebrity encounters, so for me, I'm gonna slot it into the never meet your heroes category. Not that my hero is Bobby Cannavalle, but just let me start some tea. Also, side note, Rose Byrne, lovely. Kinda shy, kinda introverted, but absolutely lovely. Next, we're gonna pick Audra McDonald. I got to meet her backstage after she performed a benefit for a bunch of high school students in Australia. Why did she do that? Honestly, she's a saint. I would never. But I remember seeing her at the Opera House and going to the stage door because that's customary in New York. And then once I got there, the security guard said, she's not coming, she's already left. But I waited, and then finally Audra came out. And her security said, Audra won't be signing any photos. And Audra said, of course I will. So she signed our little program and took a photo with me, and she was lovely about it. I again started listing to her everything I've seen her in, like she doesn't need me to spell it out for her, but nevertheless I started to, and she was like, wow, you're not kidding, you are a fan. And I was like, Audra, stop. So we had a little bit of spicy banter. So for that reason, I'm gonna put her in Did We Just Become Best Friends? Because Audra, I hope that means as much to you as it did to me. Next, we're gonna go Jonathan Groff, star of Spring Awakening, star of Hamilton, star of Glee, Jesse St. James. I love Jonathan Groff. I think he's amazing. So when I got the opportunity to meet him at the 2015 Broadway flea market, I was freaking out. He was the most expensive celebrity to meet. He was $20. He really broke the bank. But because I was so excited to meet him, I again started freaking out a little bit early, so by the time I came to see him was pretty much in tears. I just went up to him and blubbered, "I love you so much." And again, he was a bit taken aback. I could tell he was slightly uncomfortable, but he handled it like a champ. We took a photo together. He thanked me. He asked where I'd come from. You know, the usual. It was a treat that 17-year-old me and 22-year-old me will never forget. So short and sweet, but he handled my idiocy well. Okay, next up, I'm gonna go with Jesse Eisenberg. This encounter is really random, and I still don't quite understand it, which may give you a little insight into which category I'm gonna slip this encounter into. So one day while I was walking home from school, I decided to go a slightly unusual route. And you know when you're looking straight ahead but you can feel that someone's looking at you? It was one of those times. And I'd been in New York for a little bit at this point, so I feel like some of the New Yorker attitude had started to kind of trickle into the everyday. So I was about to turn and death glare whoever was staring at me, and then I looked to my right and it was Jesse Eisenberg, just sitting on a bench, eating a sandwich, looking at me. I'm not gonna be as conceited to think that he was specifically targeting me, like he saw me walking and he was like, I need to stare at this absolute random. I'm pretty sure he was just kind of staring into the distance or staring at any person who walked by, but I happened to be that any person. I was that random, and I was so confused. I literally looked over and was like, and then just kind of stared at him for a couple of seconds. He continued staring at me, eating his sandwich, we made eye contact, and then I said nothing and just continued walking home. What was that encounter? Literally, you tell me. Academy Award nominee Jesse Eisenberg. Okay, next up, we're gonna go the YouTubers Dan and Phil. I got the opportunity to meet them at a festival in 2017, and for all intents and purposes, they were lovely. They had a crazy amount of security, but also they had a crazy amount of people wanting to meet them. And security were being strict, which, you know, is understandable, it's fine, they're doing their job. But they were timing people coming in and wanted them to only speak for 20 seconds before kicking them out. But I am incredibly bad at maths and have no idea what 20 seconds feels like, so as soon as I entered the room, I just kind of started speed talking at them. I was like, "Hi, it's so nice to meet you, I love your videos, it's great. Dan, you're left-handed, I'm also left-handed." Started giving them facts about my life, like they're not paying to meet me. But again, they took it super well. I know that they're introverted and obviously probably don't like massive meet and greets, but considering they had an absolutely insane person come and speak at them, they handled it amazingly, and they spoke to me for way longer than 20 seconds. Plus, as a part of that meet and greet package, you were only supposed to get one photo with them. They clicked the selfie button so many times on my phone, they basically spammed my entire camera roll. So, for going above and beyond, I'm gonna put them in God Among Peasants, because they really didn't have to take those extra selfies and let me speak honestly at all, but for longer than 20 seconds. So, kudos to you guys. Okay, next, I'm gonna pick the Commando from The Biggest Loser. If you don't know who he is or what that means, honestly, neither do I. I've never seen an episode of The Biggest Loser. But he was one of the trainers and dietitians on The Biggest Loser Australia. But the only reason I've heard of him is because his daughter went to my high school. I met him because he came to our school musical and started a very, very public feud with his ex-wife. I remember reading that he very publicly cheated on her with fellow Biggest Loser coach Michelle Bridges, and they decided to air that tea out after the musical in front of the entire audience. There were a few people lining up who were gonna try and ask for a photo with him until he and his ex-wife started going at it, just in the corner, yelling at each other. I don't know what about, but I'm assuming it had something to do with the love triangle that they were in the middle of. I mean, even though I found it iconic, I guess I'm gonna put it in the never meet your heroes category, because if I was a fan of the Commando, tried to get a photo but couldn't because he was too busy berating his ex-wife for how poorly she was taking the fact that he very publicly cheated on her, then I'd be a bit disappointed. And this is officially where I leave you for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 when I talk about celebrity encounters. encounters with such famous figures as Leah Michelle, Colleen Ballinger, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Armie Hammer, and ex-President Donald Trump, plus many, many more. Here is a little preview of what's to come. And it was probably the best moment of my life. Looking at Fabergé eggs. Oh my god, did that age poorly. He looked up, covered his face, and started running in a panic. And I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Please thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!